gonna hit the record button real quick. I didn't hit the record. We're doing the weekly coffee chat at the end of January. We just talked about, we're doing some announcements. So we just talked about this, and you can't, that is the intention when it was first put out. Use it how you want it. Like if you just need to suit up and you actually, the one goal that you had identified as being the most important for you to focus on, if you suited up and showed up and did that, color it off, like whatever that's going to look like for you, whatever meaning you want to bring to that. Okay, let me go back to sharing screen. I was doing some announcements. So Deb has set us up for the year with a couple of 3-day refreshes. So in around some holidays, which is always good. So Valentine's is coming up, obviously. So those that want to do a refresh either before or after, she has that set up. Right now, 3-day refresh kits are 10% off. So if you haven't gotten one or you're thinking about getting one, it's a good time to save a little money and get that. Maybe you're not ready to do it in February, but you want to do it in, is this May? Memorial Day, honor thy body, to do one then. In between these two, Deb is also going to do a, she's leading a Ultimate Portion Fix refresher. So you're going to see another tile, and it's going to be, you know, the Ultimate Portion Fix and then going into 21-day fix. So that's how, so that you can go in, we're going to redo looking at the videos over a 2-week period. And then right after that, you'll be ready to, if you want to do a 21-day fix, 3 weeks, 21 days of that. Yeah. Right after using the Ultimate Portion Fix, kind of like getting back to the basics, back to the foundation. So it'll be a good thing to, you know, so at the end of February, that 21-day fix would start in March. So whatever you got going on now, you just continue through February, right. Add in the Ultimate Portion Fix refresher, and towards, that'll start the 22nd of February. Yep. And that's 2 weeks. And then that takes us through, it really aligns with our normal prep week going into a new month. And then in March, you could choose to do 21-day fix, or, you know, you can still continue on if you're still doing the last phase of 9-week control freak, or you're doing yoga, 3-week yoga retreat, whatever it is, right? You can pick your program. And then in, this is August, the cleanse group, we're actually gonna, there's a 21-day ultimate reset. It's a very intense and involved way to really cleanse the body. It's an awesome experience, and I'm excited to do it at the, after, you know, when summer's starting to wind down. So just kind of, we'll start talking about that more and putting some more information out there so that you can make a decision on whether you want to do that. There's also a new opportunity that's coming up beginning in May, at the end of May, a VIP preferred customer status that will help you to get a discount. So before you decide you want to do this with us, we'll definitely get you that discount so that you can get the best deal on the reset kit. Yeah. And then next weekend's coffee chat, our guest speaker is going to be our very own Linda Wynn. She's going to give us some tips on decluttering and getting organized. So excited about that. It's a good time. At the end of the month, we're going into a new month, kind of get our mind, you know, when your environment is decluttered and your mind just is more free to take on some new challenges. So as we go into a new month, that's going to be great. And then, you know, you can apply these, I'm sure. I haven't seen her tips, but, you know, you can declutter your life in every area. So that'll help you get prepared for taxes. That'll help you get prepared for a new month, for new goals, which goes into February, March. We're going to be going through the Financial Peace Workshop. I'll send out some information. You can get you can actually get the kit. So I'll let you know what that looks like and how much that is if you want to do that. Otherwise, I will be sharing the tools with you as well. So, and I want to just walk everybody through. And this really is like a 9-week process, because every week is a different lesson, a different different homework. And it's really baby steps. There are actually 7 baby steps he has. And it's really just kind of looking at your finance. You will declutter that too. You will look at these charges that you might have forgot that you even had, like subscriptions that you had that are recurring. You're going to clean up your spending and start creating your savings, including an emergency fund. And you'll learn the snowball effect to be able to pay down debt, and in a way that works with, wherever you are financially. So I think it's important that we do look at this. Fitness isn't just about our physical health. It is also, our emotional, our mental, our financial, our spiritual, our relationships. So I really wanted to dive into this for one personally, and then I thought, what a great thing to share out. Optional is if you want to get, like some of us are still catching up on the reading. We don't want to overwhelm you with always having a book every month, because sometimes I'm still working on it, But in optional, you can get the Total Money Makeover if you need a new book to read in February and March. That's just a recommendation. So, and then the last part of this coffee chat, we're just going to share some takeaways. But before we do that, I wanted to say thank you to Erin and Sheila for sharing yours in the feed. Those were awesome takeaways. And I love hearing from you all when you're reading through the book and what speaks to you. Because you see, we all see things differently, or some things jump out differently. And it's like, oh my gosh, those are awesome takeaways, and really, gave me food for thought for that day when I was reading those. And then I would just want to welcome our newest member to our group, and Liberty. I've known her for a while. I think some of you guys know her as well. You ladies know her. So I'm excited that she's jumping in with us, and she really just wants to be, get more accountable with her exercise and show up with that and add that to her lifestyle. She's really a focused and centered person. She fits really well with all of us. So as you get to know her, just, give her some support as she's showing up in our page. So with that, I just wanted to share my takeaways for this morning. The focusing question, and we had this, Sherry, our guest speaker, talked about this, and that is the one question that you want to ask yourself. What is the most, let me get it so I don't say it wrong. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And I like in the book, in its chapter 10, how it breaks it down. So the anatomy of this question is the part 1, what's the one thing I can do? And this sparks focused action. So the first part of that is what's the one thing that tells you so when we're asking great questions and we get great answers, so we have to ask ourselves these questions. So when you say what's the one thing, that tells you the answer will be one thing versus many. It forces you towards something specific. It tells you right up front that although you may consider many options, which that's how my brain works, I think of all the things that I could do, and then I get overwhelmed, and then sometimes I just don't do anything. It's like, oh my gosh, that's too much. I need a break. I need a break, and I haven't even done anything. I've just thought about it. So you get to you're asking yourself, what's the one thing? So your brain might go there. It might want to brain dump all of the things that you could do, and that's okay. Get it out of your head, but what's the one thing? So you get really focused on that. And then the last part of that first phrase is can do. What's the one thing I can do? So that really is where, if you're brain dumping all the things you could do, would do, should do, but what can you do right now? And what is going to be, the most with intention? What can you do with intention? And so part 2 is such that by doing it, this tells you there's a criterion your answer must meet. It's the bridge between just doing something and doing something for a specific purpose, such that by doing it, let you know you're going to have to dig deep, because when you do this one thing, something else is going to happen. And then part 3 of that focusing question, everything else will be easier or unnecessary. So that part is the ultimate leverage test. It tells you when you found it tells you you found that first domino. So if you read earlier in the book, the domino effect is when you push the first domino over, this all sequential dominoes will fall down. And there is a law of force that goes with that. The first domino could actually tip over a domino twice its size. That second domino, which is twice the size of the first domino, can tip over a domino twice its size. So really what would that be? 4 times the size of the first domino. So the small action you start with in the beginning can create force that really achieves, that's powerful enough to achieve those bigger things that you're doing, that you want to achieve. So that's that leverage test. Most people struggle to comprehend how many things don't need to be done if they would just start by doing the right thing. In effect, this qualifier seeks to declutter your life by asking you to put on blinders. This elevates the answer's potential to change your life by doing the leverage things and avoiding distraction. So it's really helping you to get rid of the overwhelm and really get focused. And so he talks more about making this a habit of when you're going to sit down to do some work, or when you get up in the morning and you're doing your meditation, what's the one thing I can do today to achieve, whatever one of your goals is? What's the one thing I can do today to stay on track with my nutrition, so that by doing that, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. So you have to ask yourself that question. And then, that creates the success habits. That's the next chapter. And to me, I don't know, something in my brain doesn't like the success habits. I think it automatically triggers my limiting beliefs, my negative thoughts, success habits. Because in the back of my brain, it's automatically telling me I'm not successful. I've never been successful. The things that you're not, I have a block there. So I'm calling them happy habits. And because when I do those things, they provide me happiness. They provide me that peace, that fulfillment, which is what I'm really ultimately looking for. And in fact, further in in part 3, live with purpose, there's on page 139, happiness on purpose. And it really is, happiness happens on the way to fulfillment. So it's part of the journey. If you ever heard that, happiness is not when we get to that thing, it's how we are on the journey of getting to that thing. It's the destination. It's not the destination, it's the journey. That's what I was thinking of. So if what you're doing on the way to getting to that goal is not fulfilling, it does not bring you happiness, peace, joy, excitement, doesn't bring energy to your life, let's rethink it. Let's ask that question again, because you're going to get to that goal, and the experience of getting to there is not going to be fulfilling. And you're going to get to that goal and think, okay, big deal. Now what? And it can be defeating. So focusing on one day at a time, one thing at a time, what brings you joy, and then just keep doing that, and then it is an adjustment. It is tweaking those things. Maybe your one thing that you thought was the thing isn't doing it. So just ask the question again. All right, that's my takeaway for today. So who else wants to share? Whew, I know. I tell you what, I'm tired by 9 a.m. my brain.
I do like your happy habits. I think that's a great way to rename it.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that. I just think for me, being successful is not as important as being happy. I think when I'm happy, I'm successful. So, and we just have to play those mind tricks on ourselves sometimes. Linda.
Hey, ditto on what you had just shared with us, Louise, because it was a tough week for me at work. And but I made it through, and I didn't succumb to candy and that sort of thing. I purposely took a shelf in the pantry of the kitchen in where I work. I have my Shakeology, I got my little maker thing, and I got a little measuring cup, and I got good food there. I got my almond butter and stuff. And so when it was pretty physical for me, and I'm no spring chicken, but moving 30 to 40-pound boxes of paper. I think I had moved close to 75 boxes 2 days in a row, and it was pretty exhausting, but thank God I had my Shakeology in the morning, actually my morning break, to give me the boost. I eat a good breakfast, but I needed something, not coffee. And that was another thing. I didn't go for the cup of coffee that I usually do, to get the jump start up again. And so what triggered it was, what's the one thing I could do for myself? And I'm going, oh God, the group is going to be proud of me. and that was really helpful. I mean, I didn't have to memorize or like savers. I mean, that's a good acronym. It is a good one, and I practice it. But at that moment, when I was in the elevator and everything, I had those few seconds of time for myself. And then I asked, what's the one thing I can do for me? And I didn't even think about one of my goals was to lose 9 pounds. Well, I got 5 more pounds to go, and I got 2 more months. I can do this. And so I'm going, yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe I was being on my goal, my 12-week goal. I thought maybe I was wishful thinking, but I can do this. And so, and same thing with the boxes. I'm like the little engine that could keep moving, keep doing it and getting it done. And my supervisor was in Wednesday, and I thought I could do it all to show her, Anyway, I was pretty exhausted, but I got the half of the boxes moved, and I just said to her, I said, I'm not able to do the rest of what I said I was going to do. I'm going to have to pace myself. She said, oh, that's fine. I didn't expect you to do that. So what's the one thing I could do when I was hurting so bad? Heating pad. And then the next day, John treated me and took me to our local spa place, or JRC, hot tubbing to help my muscles and everything. And so I feel a lot better. So I appreciate that book an awful lot. So yeah, I guess that's my takeaway for the week.
That's awesome. That's huge.
I'm really proud of you, sis.
Yeah. So on page 115 in the book, it does say, apply this to all areas of your life. Like for my spiritual life, what's the one thing I can do? And it gives you some questions to kind of spark some thought. Like, what's one thing I can do to help others? Or physical health, what's the one thing I can do to achieve my nutrition goals? What's the one thing I can do to improve my skills at ... So it's got some cool questions, but Linda also reminded me of when we're on this focusing question, that when you find that one thing and that the right thing to do at the right time, which was her heating pad, right? Or having her Shakeology, when you do the right task first, you also build the right mindset first, the right skill first, and the right relationship first. And I'm assuming relationship with yourself or with whoever you're interacting with, but I thought that was pretty powerful. And then a term that I heard that she reminded me of with her shelf, because we read kind of self-help books, but you can have a shelf help, right? I've never heard that term before. So whether it's your books or your, your Shakeology, your Recover, your Energize, your program calendars, that shelf that you have that over your meditation books, your IM cards, have that space for you, and that's your shelf help space. Any other takeaways?
No, but I just wanted to add out there too, and I think Deb mentioned this before, and I do this when, as a option for instead of coffee, I throw into my Shakeology my Energize for a boost. So for a pick-me-up, if I need a pick-me-up and I don't want to go for that like 5th cup of coffee, do an Energize instead because it's a little healthier, a lot healthier. You can throw another Energize in your day. And so I don't know if you use Energize, Linda, but it is a better option. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Or the that tea stuff is also kind of a boosty kind of thing too.
Bevy.
Bevy.
The Bevy stuff, yeah, and
Yeah.
it is kind of it helps you not want to eat too, and that's been working really well too.
Yeah, it's a fiber filled.
And you can have that one hot, which is nice for our cold
Yeah,
days.
and I put Energize in the Bevy as well. So for a little pick me up.
Yeah. Yep.
I just
Yeah.
share, sorry, from the one thing. So I kind of took Deb's advice and just flipped open this week too, because I've just scratched the surface of the book, but I'm more motivated now to read through the whole thing because there's so much good things that we've talked about so far. But I think for me, the one thing that I've been focusing on is my meal planning, and I've been sharing it in the group, but it's a struggle because I'm realizing I'm just trying to people please with my fiance, and I need to just focus on like what is going to help me through this process first. And then hopefully it'll also help my relationships like you just mentioned before. But the one line that really stuck out, and I think I shared it on the group too, is when you go small, you say no a lot, because I tend to try and do everything. And another thing that I've recognized that I want to focus more on, and I think you've been struggling with it too, Louise, is I'm not sleeping enough. And I am like exhausted by the time, so the last 2 nights I've gone to sleep early and I've woke up refreshed, and I'm like, okay, I need to just keep it more simple. And I think this book is really helpful with like learning to just keep it more simple, like just one thing, like you said, it's really powerful. So thank you guys. And I'm really grateful for all of you. I just can't say it enough. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Erin. Sleep is so important. It affects it when we have lack of sleep. It affects our energy, of course. When we don't have energy, our body will crave carbohydrates because carbohydrates is an energy source. And when we, and also when you're sleep deprived, just learn this, your body will break down your muscle tissue and use the glucose, the glucose. It breaks it down for energy. So if you're not seeing the muscle gains, or you feel, and in that just will actually make you more tired. And so in your body, it goes into survival mode, and it's going to hold on to all the energy, i.e. calories, kilojoules, that those are calories is just a unit of energy, that it can, because it's gone into survival mode, and that's just got nothing to, not even mentioning all the mental things, the brain fog and the effects it has just on your brain itself for lack of sleep. So
yeah, I think we kind of covered that with the serotonin. That's how it gets kind of created during your sleep rhythm, and it's getting created in your gut system, and of all things. and
Yeah.
and the depression. So it kind of goes hand in hand with that too.
Yeah, and that, maybe seems like it's steering off topic a little bit of the one thing, but really maybe that's your one thing, right? Maybe that's like if you're feeling like you're like me, I'm just sharing with some people, like I feel like I'm walking through quicksand all day. It's like not even 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's like I'm just trying to stay upright. And so that's going to affect you in multiple ways. And if you're in that space, or it could be other things, not just lack of sleep, but other things that are causing some of the similar kind of symptom outcome, recognize that, and if you're wanting these bigger goals, but you still have this other thing to deal with that first. That's your one thing, right? That's going to make everything else easier. So great point. Thanks for sharing that, Erin. Yeah, it is a great book. It's meaty. It's meaty. Like my brain fog brain is like, holy moly. But again, you can pick a chapter because it is so meaty. You can just pick a chapter, read that chapter, and something's going to speak to you. You're going to get a tool out of there.
So I purchased the Audible version of it, and actually it's very well read and it's very entertaining the way you present it. So I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. Good. That's a time saver to have Audible. Running errands, listening to it while I get ready in the morning. I'm a nerd. Like I like books, so I tend to sometimes get both. I like to go back in and highlight and tag and bookmark. And okay, so if there's not any other takeaways, we'll go ahead and just say goodbye. Call this a good coffee chat. Like I feel inspired, fired up. I'm actually taking a rest day myself today. We're going to go for a hike. I did something with my shoulder. I think it's taking the sports bra off. I got a new sports bra. It's super hard to get off. I tweaked my shoulder. So I'm going to not do any weights today. Everybody have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you next weekend with Linda on the call and throughout the week in the feed. So any questions, anytime, reach out to us. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, okay, wait, before you jump off,
Wait.
a quick photo. Yay, yes, love it. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.